Okay, T minus 56 minutes, or you may say T minus 26 minutes, whatever sets your heart going at this time, because it's that day, that semi-final day, which we're all been building up for 1.5 years, some may say for 4 years, ever since July 10th, 2019, you all wanted this day to come back yet again to correct that wrong which happened at Manchester. Setting is Wankhede Stadium, India versus New Zealand. But there is a controversy that has just come up, and some may say it is from slightly credible sources. I will say why. Because smoking gun has come right from the ICC chief curator, and that is Andy Atkinson. Now remember, World Cup, if you have to look at it, you play on a particular deck, which by the way, World Cup is an ICC event. The ICC chief curator has the jurisdiction. But here, there have been accusations that the pitch was switched. And now you have been given...
Switched as in there was a switch last moment?
Last moment. Okay. That is what has been alleged.
Okay.
Now, if the Indian cricket team management or the BCCI is having a sway...
See, it's both. It has to be both.
Maybe. Okay, let's see.
One or the other is not working without the other.
Yes.
They're two arms of the same body.
If the BCCI and the Indian team management working in cahoots are asking certain kind of pitches to be made, then boss, it's a deeper rot than we thought it was.
I remember we had this discussion just after the England game. I remember here, me, you and Harshit sir were there. That discussion did start, but it did not go in much further in the live. Off camera, I remember having it in the newsroom, and I remember 10 people getting on me that I'm trying to allege the Indian side with all this, and all of them have the home advantage and everything. But since the time this schedule has come, and nobody can be denying this over here, that the Indian side, that the schedule was made in such a way that the oppositions that are much more tougher, you were not giving them conditions that were favorable to them. You were playing on conditions that were favorable to yourself. Be it first game versus Australia in Chennai, you could not have played in Australia in somewhere like a Bombay or a Delhi. You would not have played England. England, if you would have known in the form they ended up at the end of the time, by the end of the World Cup, then you might have played them anywhere. But when the schedule was made at that time, you would have never taken an England in a Delhi, in a Bombay
or a Lucknow.
You would never have done that. You at the end you took it at Lucknow where you knew it's gonna turn. You got in an Ashwin, and even today, yesterday, Nikhil sir said that you are thinking of bringing an R Ashwin. That very clearly means that this Bombay wicket is not going. Even if that thought is there in the team management's mindset, then that very clearly means that you're not going to be. It's not going to be the same Bombay pitch which we have seen till now for all the other games. When you know that there is a New Zealand in the semi-final, you know you have that past baggage with them. You want to give conditions that suit. You are playing on your strengths. I'll not say you're not giving them conditions that are on their weaknesses. You're playing moreover on your strength. But I do not want to talk about this much because we are playing the semi-final at the end.
No, since you have raised the topic, it's better. Look, you want to have an even playing ground. But is it possible in this kind of world? After Shane's comment, we'll have that.
See, first off, I think 2 points I have to make. One, and bear in mind that all of these are allegations at this point. There's nothing which has been credibly put out there by any source, in the sense that, it's not come directly from the ICC's wordings. Like, for instance, when the ICC had to suspend SLC, we knew straight from the ICC. Right now, we're conjecturing. Credibly so, I may add. This is not coming out of nowhere. We've seen the pictures of the wicket. We've seen how it is that the team management, we've been discussing a day before that they might consider Ashwin. Why would you consider Ashwin if it wasn't going to be a turning track? But more importantly, when has Mumbai been a turning track throughout this World Cup? The one thing we say about Mumbai, what were we fearing about Mumbai? That it seems early on and later on becomes a batting paradise. That's ideal conditions. But the second thing, First off, and I'll sum up this point by saying that if you are to win today, and if these allegations in some way turn out to be correct, it's a very hollow victory.
Exactly
It's a hollow
my
victory.
point.
I tend to disagree. I don't think there's anything. You look at what happened in the previous World Cups. Did the pitches in Australia not behave the way that they were supposed to behave? Did the pitches in England? Did the pitches in England not suit the team that were playing at home? Is it a sheer coincidence that teams that have been playing the World Cup at home have not been getting some sort of an advantage and rather going ahead and winning the World Cup as well?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I tend to disagree. And even then, I'm totally fine with that. By the way, I'm not too sure. It's allegations right now, as Shane pointed out. That's number one.
Yeah.
Two, there is no scientific proof, by the way. None. There is no one gent or woman in this on the face of this earth who's nailed the art of pitch reading. Let's not jump the gun. It is not 100%. Nobody's ever been able to read a pitch fully right. Point number one. Number two, again, the point being, why would India? You're playing an Sodhi who's taken a 10 for. You're playing against a mid-centener who you've not been able to get run against. In last two matches that you've played against him, his economy both in the 2019 World Cup semi-final and the previous match that you played, both the times was lesser than 4. The first time he picked 2 wickets. The other time that you played in Dharamsala, he picked up 1 wicket but didn't give you runs more than an economy of 4. In fact, it was lesser than 4. So again, why would you want to dig your own pit and think that you can really, spin will be the differentiator, or you need spin given the form that you're already in? Why do you think you need spin on top of that to be able to outdo a New Zealand
And
again?
that actually brings me to my second point, which I was going to make, which was the last time India did something like this, 2016 Nagpur, against ironically New Zealand. It came back to bite you.
Yeah, exactly did. And I remember very clearly saying this, that I said this in Hindi कि आप किसी दिन अपने गड्ढे में खुद मत गिर जाना. Because of this is exactly what I said after the New Zealand and Australia game. And as far as Harshit, you were saying about the previous World Cups where the conditions have suited the home sides, I totally agree with that. But that is what is the nature of the wicket. That is the nature of the wicket. That is how the wicket plays.
Wickets in England have wickets. It was, you can't say it was sure. The England tracks have been tweaked over all the last 3-4 years. It's no coincidence that baseball suddenly started to work in conditions that was
But here you are going with a clear mindset. You are backing your strengths against teams you are a little scared about. That is not what has happened.
And it happened even before that. No, not in England though. Not in England.
No. One point which you have to make is that in Australia and England, so that's 2015 and 2019, I think conditions were pretty steady for every team. I don't think it altered dramatically.
England, if you have to look at it, they altered their basic pitch itself in 2015 onwards.
But
it
that's
went
exactly. That was the whole change. That was
exactly. I'm not saying it was done just for him, but you have to agree to the point that it was predominantly done because batting big was your strength.
So that too, even when you do in test matches, you give out a little more turning tracks, then that is not wrong. That is a bilateral series, that I totally agree. There you have every right to do what you have to, and that's why teams don't tend to lose at their homes. But this is an ICC event, you have to remember this. You played England in, where did you play England in 2019?
You played in Edgbaston.
Where the swinging conditions aren't that much, if I'm not wrong.
In ODIs,
ODIs, the swinging isn't there. If then England should have played you somewhere a little upper where the seaming conditions would have been more, if that would have been their mindset.
See, I don't think venues have been nitpicked. Firstly,
you cannot say that.
If venues were to be nitpicked, I wouldn't have chosen to play New Zealand in Dharamsala of all places, which was offering
Dharamsala, that was a slow turner. In the pitch reading, Ravi Shastri said that.
It's also the same venue. When we had that stat, we showed it to our viewers as well, that in the build-up to the India-New Zealand match, you'd already seen a couple of matches, 3 matches if I'm not wrong, take place at Dharamsala. The most swing that was offered at any venue was at Dharamsala.
Although
you won't say Australia wasn't handpicked and England wasn't handpicked.
I don't think the venues were handpicked one bit. You can say whatever you want to say about the pitches, altering the nature of the pitch, trying to control the nature of the pitch. I can tend to agree over there, and I'm fine with that also, because I've seen other teams also do it.
Okay, look, what is the entire debate around here? Now that's a moral situation that we have got. Is it morally correct that you want to switch a pitch according to the team's strength or the home team's strength? Okay, there is Mr. Sunil Gavaskar's thought. Okay, the pitch is there for all the teams, So I don't think there should be too much discussion on what this pitch will do or not. Okay, that Harshit is agreeing, which is a fair point. You switch the pitch. If it is to your strength, so be it. Okay, don't worry about the pitch. Play 100 overs, play with your strength, play with your batting, bowling, put it to your best capability. Fine, that is one school of thought. Okay, but the second school of thought, and that is where I think what Shane said, we are not conjecturing just on this thing. There is a smoking gun. What is that smoking gun?
Yeah.
Atkinson's email itself. Andy Atkinson wrote a mail stating that as a result of these actions, one must speculate if this is the first ever ICC Cricket World Cup final to have a pitch which has been, now this is where I'll have a problem with, specifically chosen and prepared to their stipulation at the request of the team management or hierarchy of the home nation board.
Exactly.
That particular point. Fine, okay, we can speculate on all these things. Like we speculated on 2015, 2019. In fact, I would like to argue that in 2015, Australia made the most un-Australian pitches.
Exactly, they were so batter friendly.
It was so batter friendly. You look at the number of sixes, look at the number of runs. First double centuries
You
came
had
at that.
two 200s in that
Yes,
World Cup.
Guptill and
right?
Gale.
Guptill and Gale.
New Zealand, they white ball, let us not mix formats. Red ball in Australia, you'll have the bounce, you'll have that bit of seam movement that is of the kookaburra.
New Zealand.
White ball is flat as a pancake.
And New Zealand also in tests, again, not mixing formats, in tests, you'll get very England-like conditions where you'll have seam
Three-quarter
movement.
seam.
Yeah, where you'll have plenty of seam movement where, the grounds are smaller, so it tends to be favoring run movement, but you have to bat in a disciplined way. White ball, though, that's never been the case. It's flat as a pancake.
England also, 15 onwards, since they wanted Bass ball or New England, changed
Flat
the pitch
pitches,
to flat, absolutely
pitches.
flat. There, the conjecture is, did the home boards interfere? Did Australia interfere? Did England interfere? So far, if they didn't interfere, they may have wiped the tracks clean. We can say that.
Or better yet, actually, and the reason why I mentioned 15 and 19 is because in 15 and 19, I think conditions were pretty much the same everywhere.
Yeah.
There was no changes, whether in 15, whether you went to Auckland, whether you went to Melbourne, Sydney, wherever the matches were played.
I think that is also because it's a very small surface area and the weather doesn't
Melbourne,
change much.
Melbourne, etc.
The weather doesn't change
The
much.
problem is,
every
see,
place the weather
you look
changes.
at Auckland and Melbourne and all those other places. What are they? Drop-in pitches. So,
Yeah.
2015 drop-in, it's never going to help bowlers that much.
But drop-in pitches we've seen,
There's graveyards for bowlers.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
More
that
or less
was in
flat
2015.
decks.
That was in 2015. England 2019, most are not drop-in. It's in a different venue altogether. That's why you have proper cricketing pitches, which were changed ever since 2015. That's why England could play the style of cricket that they
Yes.
could.
And not just them, I'd say there were plenty of teams. Don't forget, Pakistan defeated England because they had a nice flat track to play on. Sri Lanka could
Beat
have sent
England.
teams. Yeah, exactly, because they had those flatter tracks to play on.
Yeah.
Why? Because they knew that, these are truer surfaces, and even if the bowlers got some early movement, later on it got totally nullified.
Yes.
So it didn't really matter. Everyone had pretty consistent conditions. That's
Well,
why
What
they
was,
expected.
what was the main factor in England? Cloud cover.
Yeah.
That was the equalizer.
Equalizer. But in India, you don't have that. So, if the home board, I'm saying if, please underline this with bold 96 font, if the management or the BCCI is asking or interfering with how the pitch has to be created, then I'm sorry. Somewhere down the line, you are so desperate to end a 12-year jinx.
Yeah.
You are very desperate then. You have shown the desperation. However, this is again why I am saying this, because the smoking gun is apparently Atkinson's email. And Andy Atkinson has been at the ICC helm in pitch curation for the past 20 years. Nowhere have we seen, be it 7, be it 11, be it 15, be it 19, the pitches were the worst. Now here, Ahmedabad was rated average, Chennai was rated average. If we can remove
Dharamshala also.
Dharamshala was rated average, but that was a genuine problem with the outfield.
Yeah.
And in Dharamshala, to be fair, I will again argue I'll leave out Dharamshala. Why? Because in Dharamshala, generally speaking, all the teams struggle.
Yes.
South
And
Africa,
Dharamshala shouldn't have been a ground which ICC actually approved. So there also some board
yeah.
might say that there was an intervention by the
But see, at HPC again, everyone knows that it was undercooked. It was not ready to host international cricket.
Not ready to host domestic level.
Domestic also because you're
However,
just risking.
No club matches.
Your suggestion that they were handpicked, the venues were handpicked for the matches that India were playing. It is very difficult to prove that.
And I'll tell you, I'll add more to it.
Proof is very difficult.
No, I'll tell you.
Because
You
India
wouldn't have
played-
wanted to play Afghanistan then in Delhi. Look what happened to England. You wouldn't have. Even Australia would have been, and they were, by the way, tricky. They had you at 2 for 3.
Yeah.
Had that catch been taken, this conversation perhaps wouldn't even have been ignited.
Yeah. And remember,
Then Dharamsala. So you got 3 out of 9 matches right there.
But also I have to argue and say here that whenever India played in certain places, the conditions did magically. I mean, to be fair, Delhi, I think you can still say slowed down because you had 2 or 3 matches there which saw high scoring, and after that pitches dropped off to the Delhi standard. Ahmedabad confused me because Ahmedabad has been the roadiest of roads for.
And Dharamshala didn't.
No, Dharamshala did.
You know
because
what?
I
It
think
slowed down. That didn't.
no Dharamshala because everyone struggled there. Same with Delhi.
You know which
Ahmedabad
pitch
was
confused
And
me?
with Dharamshala
Lucknow.
and let's say, the New Zealand team not getting a lot of success that time was also to do with the fact that Trent Bolt, who's the wrecker-in-chief and let's say India's,
Biggest
main
nemesis.
thorn also on biggest nemesis, whatever you want to say, the biggest thorn in India's flesh, he's been struggling all along in this tournament. It was only until let's say that Sri Lanka match where he showed good rhythm. Otherwise, he's struggled.
yeah.
He's not been at his very best.
Not at all.
See,
Firstly, two things. Firstly, nothing to take away from the Indian team at all, because if we are even giving spin bowling conditions, at the end of the day, sitting here since the whole 1 month, you've been talking about the fast bowlers.
Yeah.
So nothing to take away from the Indian side. And secondly, these reports I feel haven't come in from the Indian media at all. The timing of these reports, I don't know, I haven't liked that much, because this is a topic that you might have wanted to talk earlier or after the World Cup.
Also,
how can the Indian media do it?
No.
Even
Also,
when-
categorically, Siddharth, if
Yeah.
you notice that that particular quote that we've been showing to our family members as well, it says the final particularly. It doesn't talk about any other match, does it?
No.
It says the final. So it's pretty much redundant, right? Whatever we've been saying or whatever people are speculating also.
No, it's not like, see,
Or are we just trying to connect the dots over here? Just because it's been set for the final, maybe it's true for the other venues as
But
well.
maybe it could very well be a possibility, and because this is the Daily Mail, I have to keep that possibility in mind. That
even the Sydney Morning Herald has.
No, that's
Yeah.
not the point. I agree with you there. The smoking gun is emerging and a lot of media outlets are picking it up. But what they could have done is that maybe Atkinson in his email wrote final, maybe he meant to say knockouts. And I think the Daily Mail could have published it without a correction.
Yeah, they just publish a verbatim. That's
Exactly.
enough. But again, look at the
Spinners will
pitch
get
report.
help. Now Bombay, you cannot debate this fact that Bombay now suddenly has become a spinner friendly, and there has been this talk all around since last night that you want to get in an Ashwin.
See, you
Isn't
are
this a
playing
little
on.
surprising?
Look, in every venue that you play on 6 different strips. Okay, maybe this is the strip which was offering you spin.
So you saved this
and
for
you-
the semi-final,
Exactly.
But
which
Very
you were
dodgy.
about to play here.
But again, look, you could argue for the fact that okay, there is nothing concretely to prove that okay, this was all handpicked to ensure India could do it, because India has played in all 9 venues. All 9 venues, different conditions, different pitches, yet they are going to be here, they will be the team in form.
What I also feel, I think more than the team management here, the role of the board comes in very big, that it should be at the end of the day of India winning. You know why? Because the way how shabbily the whole World Cup has been managed. The only thing that will push everything under the rug is India winning the World Cup.
So that is what even the pitch report is saying. This will be the same one used for the South Africa versus England and India versus Sri Lanka matches also. So that is what is the conjecture we are getting from there also. That's what the things that we are getting. If you look at the spinner's length, it's bare. The spinners will come into play. As the game progresses, there's dew, it will play nicely. When you look at the center of the surface, there's a little bit of grass. There'll be carry for the bowlers from the back of the length. You want to bat first in the semi-final. When it comes to second innings, you have to just negotiate the first 20 overs. So let's look at it in this way, okay? All the pitches, whatever you give, India, if you have to look at even that also.
Meanwhile, Shivam, because we're very close to the toss, I see some super chats. We'll try taking
to
those
take that
because
also.
the narrative changes after the toss.
Oh, yeah.
So,
It
yeah,
was
so that
the toss.
quickly, if you could make your point as well.
Yeah. if Tanmay Joshi is saying, if cricket has to survive, no tournament should be held in India after scheduling another low. It's okay to lose rather than being doctored champions. Tanmay Joshi, again,
it's still conjecture.
It is still conjecture.
But if it is proven correct, if there is, let's say, rather than a smoking gun, if you see smoking cannons, it becomes harder to ignore.
Udbhav Mehta is saying from Australia, sick and tired of these dirty tactics of global media every time India does well. Should we now demonize BCCI based on allegation and unconfirmed sources? But look, Udbhav, the same thing, it has come from a certain ICC chief pitch curator, Andy Atkinson. That is why these are not unconfirmed allegations or sources. It's coming from the ICC.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why if someone on a YouTube channel in Pakistan is saying things, we tend to ignore it.
Yes.
It's because it's unsubstantiated nonsense that is coming about in the view of clicks. Here, you've got an actual source and not just any actual
And you have logic to support it also.
Logic to support it, A. The source in question who's spoken out has done so on the record, B. And C, it just so happens to be the chief pitch curator of the ICC. Really?
Not unconfirmed sources, Udbhav. I'm sorry. See, if you are desperate to win after 12 years to win a World Cup, this will happen. Now, if you want to accuse Australia and England also, then you don't have any proof because they might have cleaned their tracks. I mean, as I say, no, if you want to eliminate a crime, ensure all the tracks you don't leave anything behind. That's what they may do.
But see, look at it this way. In 15 and 19, you did have pretty good batter-friendly surfaces.
Yes.
But I will argue that actually not only plays to the strength of the host teams nowadays, I think it plays to the strength of any team that's playing white ball cricket because there's so much of a proliferation of T20 cricket that most of your batters would prefer a flat track.
Exactly.
You don't
But
want challenges.
I frankly don't think over here, and I think it doesn't work actually to India's advantage. Dishing out, if there is India or the BCCI have any role to play in terms of dishing out a certain surface. I don't think Turner is to India's advantage. I quite remember the Test series. I quite remember what happened in Bangladesh also when we toured.
2016.
Exactly. So I'm not forgetting any of the, and I'm just going by, let's say, what's happened over the last 8-10 months. I have little substance to say that barring a couple of players in this team, they can play spin well.
Rohit and Shreyas.
That's it.
Take it.
The only two names that I have in mind as well.
It's just a gamble that whose batting is going to do better, and I think the way India's batting is right now, it's on a
When I look at the New Zealand side, I see firstly Anish Sodhi, who can be called up. I see a Santner who's already there, a Rachin Ravindra who's already there, a Glenn Phillips who's been getting enormous amount of turn even when the tracks haven't really supported so much turn. All of that plus the fact that there are genuine spin players over there. You've got a Kane Williamson, you've got a Devon Conway, you've got a Daryl Mitchell over there.
If in the next 5 minutes you end up seeing Ashwin and Ish Sodhi from both the sides, then I don't think it's going to be.
It's an even contest then.
But
What's there to cry foul? What's there to cry foul about?
Because because they also have spinners. That's why it won't call be that should not be.
But
called
again,
foul.
look at
I don't think that
everyone
is right.
had the liberty to name as many players they felt like, and when you were coming to India, you had to expect at some point that there'll be a spinner.
That is the nature of the wicket. Then play according to the nature of the wicket. The way Bombay wickets have been, go out and chase that total, whatever comes if you end up losing the toss.
And to be fair,
Then don't get that
Mumbai
spinning
never
track, no?
spins. The only time I remember Mumbai spinning is in a test match.
2004.
Clark.
Yeah, the Clark one, 6 for 9.
Clark.
That was a woeful Bombay Wankhede.
Where India played, 3 spinners or 4 spinners?
They played 4. I think it was Karthik, there was
You played Murli,
Harbhajan.
Karthik, Harbhajan, Kumble, and you were at one point contemplating opening the bowling with Sachin Tendulkar.
Maybe. But again, look, see, as far as the contest is concerned, I still believe it is India's game. Because looking at the way how they have played in this World Cup, I think they are not, जैसे कहते हैं ना, conditions के मोहताज नहीं. I mean, they are a really well-rounded team that have all the basis to ensure that they can do very well. So that is why I am saying that forget the pitch and all that, but look, there are credible sources that pitches can have interference from the Indian team management or the BCCI. There is a credible source in that. Because why are we not seeing Andy Atkinson so much involved with this? Suddenly he's come out and put out a statement now. So let us just make sure that this is there in the background. Let this be there in the background. Now we have to focus on the game that's going to be there.
Yeah.
You play, you win, you lose. You win, great. You lose, bad luck. That's the problem. This is where it is so fickle. The nature of cricket is very fickle, and that is why it is going to be a big problem. Neutrality, desperation to win because it's India. Whether you can do it, I don't know. Whether it's moral, whether it is this thing, we don't know. So, Udbhav Mehta again, has the concerned ICC publicly given the statement out to the BCCI? Can any British media quoting a statement from an ICC official be gospel?
Then you can't trust any media by that logic.
Udbhav, the Indian media cannot have the guts to even discuss this. We are discussing this knowing fully well that this is there in the background.
And we have discussed about
India New Zealand semi-final is not the major build-up. It is the build-up which will happen after the toss. But now in the build-up to this, I'm sorry, any Indian media outlet will never do this.
And we talked about this earlier also much before these reports came.
So you have to it depends on which side of the spectrum you are in.
I think
take it with a pinch of salt or don't take it with a pinch of salt. I think you'll have the toss now in 2 minutes.
I think you've won the toss.
Toss happens in 2 minutes usually.
Is it? Have we already won the toss?
No, I doubt. The toss
it would just be the case that
assuming on the basis of the dhol.
No, please, the whole is there to mislead.
Switch to the broadcaster?
Yeah. So, Beckham is there today. David Beckham is in
You'll
attendance.
see a lot of celebrities.
Rajnikant is there. Salman Khan is there. Neeta Ambani is there.
Shah Rukh Khan there? Is his ban over?
His ban ended a long time, right?
Yeah, I think it ended in 2019 itself, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Shah Rukh Khan will be there. But I don't know, I think he is busy.
He's a lucky charm for you.
No, Shah Rukh will be there if it's a KKR match, not this one.
Oh, he won't come to the World Cup and all.
No, but he was there in 2007.
Okay. So it's Williamson and Rohit who are out there at this point. And they have got the team sheets. Let's see how it goes at this point.
You know what? The way that they've got multiple team sheets, it reminds me of
the IPL.
Of the IPL with the impact player.
Oh my
So we
God.
don't have an impact player today?
No. You know what's the difference I see in this Indian side and this today's semi-final and the 2019 semi-final is this, that during that 2019 semi-final, I remember that it felt like the team is pretending to be carefree and pretending to be under no sort of pressure. This time I can genuinely feel it. This can be very personal. But this time I genuinely feel that the team isn't in pressure.
There were a lot of positives in Rohit Sharma's press conference.
Yeah.
Number one, the team is not thinking about the past. So they are living in the present, which is a very good thing. And each individual has got a role. There is clarity in the roles. There's freedom in the roles. Which is why Rohit's team has got an air of stability, and that is why they are not bound by conditions. That is a very important thing. And remember, his comment that 6 bowling options might not happen. But if Ashwin comes in, what if your one pacer has a cramp?
Exactly.
Sea of blue.
Of course it is.
Risky.
Even in Manchester it was a sea of blue, despite being a sea of red, which is traditionally for Manchester United. But there also, anywhere India plays, it will always be a sea
Which
of
isn't
blue.
too far away, by the way, the 2 Old Trafford
Toss
grounds.
time that much away.
In very close proximity to each other.
The most anticipated toss of this World Cup is just about to happen now. Rohit will toss the coin, and let's see. I think whoever wins the toss will bat first.
Have to.
No brainer.
As simple as that.
No brainer.
And if India wins the toss, I would say game over.
Okay, so Rohit is going to be spinning the coin.
I think India might win the toss. And he tosses it. We can't see them now.
Kane will
It is Williamson, I think.
Is it?
Rohit Sharma.
India have opted to bat.
You have won the match.
India have chosen to bat. The coin toss also goes their way, and that's why it's going to be good.
Is one side heavier than the other?
Nah.
I mean, that's a
Shane's been watching too much of Pakistan
That's the
media.
conspiracy theory that's floating around. You see clips nowadays. It's a,
I don't listen. Which Pakistani channel?
Batting Chuni.
Arey, this is Misbah Ullah Kohli who said it.
Really?
he said it as a joke.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they talk like
No, he said it as a joke.
No, he actually didn't, because Wasim was like, यार तुसी क्या गल कर रहे हो यार.
And that's why I think he was saying it as a joke. Because I think even Wasim knew that Misbah was.
No, but Misbah's also like really been blamed for whatever has happened.
Let's see who is in the 11. I'm waiting for the mail to come from the BCCI. Let's see if they
Good luck
send
with
it.
that.
I don't think it comes now nowadays.
The broadcaster might just tell us.
Yeah.
And as he himself admitted that it does look on the slower side.
Whatever we need to do, we need
There
to
we
do
go,
it well.
Ashwin.
Yep. So
Mm.
I think it may be the same
The
11.
reports in the morning cannot be denied.
Yeah.
But I think
it'll
even
be
if
the
report would have come a day or two earlier, if this mail had come, the timing that has this all this.
But it did come one day
everyone has-
before.
everyone has like
Yeah.
put it
so
out
let's
there.
See. What is the team news here? BCCI, thank you so much for not giving it to me on time. I'm waiting for it to come. So maybe I think there'll be no team changes.
No,
How
I think,
much ever-
I think you'll drop one player, bring in Ashwin.
No,
Is it?
no, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Well, if Ash comes, Ashanna comes, he's going to win you the World Cup for you, my friend.
Both sides are unchanged.
I told
Both
you.
sides are
Because-
unchanged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both sides are unchanged. So that's awesome. Constantly talk about how important it is about same team. So yes, no Ash. That is why you could not have picked Ash, because three spinners, if one of your pacers in this
Yeah.
stifling Mumbai heat, they have a
Now
plan.
it'll be interesting. Now it'll be interesting as to how this Indian team performs with all the talk that's happened now with regards to the pitch. Now let's see. Again, a very good toss to win. And I think, because I was saying this since yesterday, winning the toss will be the key given how the two teams look. Given that there's no Matt Henry, it's a depleted bowling attack. It's a good bowling attack. Let's not forget that the New Zealand have. But I think it is now 75-25 for me.
Yeah.
It's 75-25.
70-30.
Yeah, I think 70-30 is
5%.
fair. But again, that's very subjective.
But again, I had stated
Oh my.
that
Quite animated.
I was 55-45 even before the toss had happened.
That is a very.
But what
small
could be the
margin.
reason? Okay, we pretty much know about India. Let's say if New Zealand had the same reading of the pitch as has been speculated, let's say, and as even our reliable broadcasters have suggested that it could be a slow turner. I think unlike India, New Zealand do have the luxury of opting or having some of the batters bowl.
Yeah,
They can-
exactly. You have a Daryl Mitchell who will bowl cutters. You've got a Glenn Phillips. That means you have two slow ball options in the need. Unless
Plus you
India
have a Mark
decide-
Chapman.
But I don't think Chapman's bowled at all.
At
in
all.
this
He's
tournament.
not bowled in this
Yeah.
tournament.
So unless India decides suddenly to turn to Kohli and Rohit or Sky or Shubman again.
I don't think it's happening, because see, that sixth bowling option, Rohit had stated we don't need it. So maybe you are relying on your five bowlers this semi-final. Yeah, enough of experimentation, enough of all of this. Now play with the core, play with the same bowling lineup that is
play
there.
with the strengths.
Play with
Simple
your
as that.
No, it's come
But
full
remember-
circle, time to give it a different end.
Yep, it will happen. See, New Zealand notched up 240, but again remember, don't go by chases or defense in ICC events. New Zealand 2021 World Test Championship, they chased. 2000 ICC Champions Trophy, they chased to win. 2021, they chased to win. 2019, they defended to win. 2007, they defended to win. So it's an even mix, and the only time they couldn't defend and win was 2003 Centurion, where they got out for 141. And that is why this match, if you look at it, India have all but sealed it, because not just that, I'm looking at the surprise element also. Okay, 2019 you were playing New Zealand after 16 years in an ODI World Cup. Suddenly, out of the extraordinary, they defeated you in Manchester, because it was England, and I knew that past trends. England, when you play, New Zealand have never lost to India. You never lost to India in England. So
How much big is the sample size for that?
you have not lost ever since 1975 when you started
How many
playing.
games have you played?
4 games.
In England.
Yes.
Versus India.
Yes. You didn't win in 79, you didn't win in 75, you didn't win in 99, you didn't win in 2019. And you didn't win in 2021.
But
the World Test
very
Championship.
interesting. I was looking at New Zealand, some of their numbers, how they perform or have performed, I would say, in the semi-finals. Until the last two semi-finals,
They had
they had
never won.
lost all the semi-finals that they had appeared in.
Yeah.
All of them.
In fact, they and South Africa were the only teams to not win a semi-final, to not win a World Cup knockout. I'm not going to Super 6. 1996, New Zealand lost in the quarter-final to Australia. 92, they lost in the semi-final. Then if you look at all the others, even 75, 79, they lost in the semi-finals there. South Africa, their first knockout win in a World Cup came only in 2015 in the quarter-final against Sri Lanka.
Also, funny thing, you were speaking of things coming to a full circle, things coming to a full circle for many of these guys, because some of them have been playing since the under 19 days.
Yeah.
Tim Southee, Kane
Bolt.
Williamson, Trent Bolt, Virat Kohli, Jadeja, all of the same batch.
All same batch.
And for many of them, by the way, are the same visuals?
Yeah. It is.
So, and for many of them, it could be the last World Cup as
You
well.
could have a 2008 repeat. India-New Zealand semi-final and then India beat South Africa in the final.
Oh yes, the under-19.
It could happen.
Repeat.
That is a true full circle if you look at it. So that is why, and remember, in that World Cup semi-final, under-19, Kohli had Williamson stumped. He did stump him. And remember, Bombay, he did take a wicket 2016 before he got his wicket in
but
Bengaluru.
the result of that game wasn't
Yeah, but then again, look.
what you would want.
See, in Mumbai, now since this will assist spin, Jaddu and Kuldeep are really going to be your ace in the pack. Shami will get some reverse swing, if that's the case. The first 20 overs, look at what happened in the game against Sri Lanka. First 15 overs, the game was done. Because they couldn't survive high quality swing bowling. 15 overs,
Even
that's why.
Australia could not.
Yeah,
handle
91
it,
for
and
7.
That wasn't even high quality. They dropped in fact Fazal Faruqi for that game.
But again, it would have
Umar
not
Zai
made
and
that much of a
Naveen.
difference. Naveen and Omar Zai were doing the job. I think Fazal Haq, because of the left-handers that were there, he could have easily gotten
No,
that
but
away.
Fazal Haq is, the thing with Fazal Haq is that he's a threat in one aspect of the game only, the power plays.
Yep.
Again, very tempted to think that if someone like Naveen, who may I add, his biggest strength is his cutters,
Yes.
was getting that kind of wicket
Exactly.
swing, Fazal Haq would have had a ball.
Yeah, but well,
But with Naveen, you get a bit of bat also. That's the thing.
No, but you play. About this swing that if those Australian top order wasn't able to play such bowling attack,
Yeah.
the New Zealand will have lot of difficulty playing.
Well, also, you have to remember, even in Australia, white ball cricket now, as I said, is played on flat roads. So they're used to hitting through the line because they get true mounts. So if you're suddenly confronted with swing conditions, it will bother
And
you.
one thing that I realized that everything for cutters you have a shot, for Yorkers you have a shot now. Everything is revolved, but one thing that has always been throughout, that swing nobody was able to play swing in the earlier days. Even now swing, there is no way to tackle swing.
The best thing you can do is survive.
Stand, like you can cut that swing by standing a little out, but that at the end of the day you're just trying to
Well,
feel.
it's worked for Virat Kohli's advantage. Remember, that's the adjustment that he made between 2014 and 18, the two times that India toured England. That's the one big thing you could see as far as technical change is concerned. So batters do deploy that
can
technique
even
at times.
end up as you getting run out.
yeah.
Like Besto and Rishabh Pant.
Well, see, that was Besto's stupidity that happened in Lords. It was clearly his nonsense, and England climbed upon that nonsense.
Even
of
Rishabh Pant got out the same in that under 19 World Cup
World Cup
final.
2016. Yeah, so England climbed upon that nonsense to ensure we had a moral victory and all that nonsense which they spouted. Anyway, see, England are the last team to talk about custodians and moral laws of the game. Their behavior in that Ashes series was disgraceful to say the least. So, New Zealand, if you have to look at it now, chasing, and remember how they have fared while chasing. They chased well against Sri Lanka. They almost pulled off a high shot against Australia.
5 shot.
They chased brilliantly against England. The only team where they struggled was South Africa. They got bundled out for 100 and they lost
But
by
that was
190
also
runs.
their own doing, winning the toss and Tom Latham asking South Africa to bat first.
Exactly. So that's why bright conditions in Mumbai, you're not going to see any kind of rain, any kind of this thing. 20 overs you will see from both ends. But remember, 16th, not good news. Not good news at all in Kolkata because of the cyclone.
Eden.
Yes, because you are having a rain threat on both the days. So it's not going to be
But
good.
I think if New Zealand would have a chance, that would only be possible if they try to restrict India under 270. I think over 270, anything would be a very big hill to climb for the New Zealand.
Okay, let us look at semi-finals of the past. Say
Also, by the way, Kane Williamson also admitting that he too would have batted first.
Yeah.
So yeah, pitch assessment the same for both the captains.
Yeah, it was evident. Mumbai 4 games, 3 have won while chasing, defending a total. The one chase that came was a freak knock from Glenn Maxwell. Otherwise, in Australia, not going to chase too many.
Otherwise, it was 4-zip.
4-zip.
Bat first, win the toss and win the match. Pretty much the mantra, like you had it in the 2021 IPL.
Yep.
Winning
That's
the toss was the key.
Yes. So that is why. Look at all the World Cup finals, semi-finals and finals previously, okay? England chased against Australia, won. India didn't chase, lost. 15, you look at it, both games.
India didn't win chasing.
India didn't win chasing and New Zealand chased.
New Zealand chased
Yes.
South Africa. Yeah.
So this looks like facing the conditions and all that against a better bowling lineup. And I'll tell you why. This you're saying no, there's no buzz, there's no tension. Because it's New Zealand. Nice guys. You see the camaraderie that's there with both the teams. Rohit with all others, Virat with Kane and all that. It's a gentlemanly team. That is where I think, see, every nation must learn from New Zealand. That nice guys always don't finish last. You can be friendly. There is hardly any toxicity surrounding this. Huh?
Don't even finish first.
But they finished first. They won an ICC.
Well, you've got Rahul Dravid. There's a book after his name which is exactly titled that.
Yeah.
The good man, the nice man who finished first. And but you know, the other thing, Siddharth, also with Indian cricket, that's been the case. You know, it's ebbed and flowed. It's not been, you know, with the Aussies, you associate them with just firebrand cricket, let's say, you know, that kind of an attitude. But with the Indian team, you've seen attitudes change. So yes, right now we come across as the team that are firebrand, let's say. We like that firebrand kind of cricket.
Yep.
But in the past, it's not always been the case. It's also to do with the fact that historically, we've been subjected to racial slurs.
Yeah.
We've been subjected to we've been made to feel inferior on the field. So it comes from all of that as well. And I'm fine with players being a little aggressive on the field. I'm totally fine with that. Just that when you have New Zealand up against you, they're the nice guys. You will not want to poke. They're not the bear, but you still don't want to poke them. Simple as that. Because of their niceness, let's say.
Yeah. Remember the last time New Zealand played at the Wankhede. I think they didn't play at the Wankhede this World Cup, right? Have they played at the Wankhede?
New Zealand?
Yeah.
No.
No, they haven't played.
They've played twice in
The
Dharamsala.
last time-
They've played twice in Bangalore.
And Chennai also, if I'm not mistaken.
Chennai, they played
One game, maybe.
One game,
Pakistan,
Bangladesh.
I think.
New Zealand, Afghanistan was where?
That was in.
And New Zealand, Bangladesh also was, I think. in
So they
Chennai.
played at a
They
couple
played
of.
one in Ahmedabad also, no?
England.
Yeah, England. They played. They have not played in Mumbai. The last time they played in Mumbai was 2011. And they could not survive that due period because due set in later and Sri Lanka somehow ran through their top order and they lost by a big margin in Mumbai. So, New Zealand, if you have to look at it, they will know the mistakes of 2011, what's happened. Play out the first 15-20 and then ensure if the due comes.
I don't think they're going to take that in consider. I think that half of the team wouldn't even remember that game.
They would.
I don't
Because that's where lessons are there. That's where every team has a lesson there. In the first 15-20 overs in Mumbai, half of your top order and middle order have been blown away. Look at Bangladesh.
This has happened
Bangladesh,
in
South
this
Africa
World
here.
Cup, right?
Huh?
This has happened in recent times.
It's happened
2011.
every time in Mumbai. Exception was the final. But even there in the final,
Yeah, you
before the
lost
due
only
set in, you
wicket.
only lost 3 wickets.
Yeah.
The depth saved you there.
Exactly. In 2011, people tend to forget that actually Sri Lanka also were very clever. They lost a couple of early wickets, but then they consolidated, and later on, you required Sangha and
Jayawardene,
who
it was the experienced duo.
Exactly, who absolutely went hammer and tongs in the latter part of the inning.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with India. You lost 3 wickets, boss. Let's be frank. Jitters had set in.
Yes.
Jitters had very much set in by that point.
Absolutely.
Half the mark
And
at
who are those
was
3
leaving.
wickets? Virender Sehwag, Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar.
No pressure then.
Really no pressure. So that's why it's been there in Mumbai. Survive the first 15-20 overs. The match is yours for the making, my friends. So
Like you get Virat, Rohit, and a Gill or an Iyer.
You know, but there are interesting parallels. You know, back then you were looking at, you know, that one visual of Sachin and Virat crossing each other.
Yeah.
Many people in hindsight, you know, reflect on it as the passing of the baton. There's another visual doing the
Shubman
round.
and Virat.
Shubman and Virat, where Virat just gives him a little nudge as Shubman's coming off the field. So it's very interesting because if you are, let's say, going forward, let's say 10 years down the line, if you're looking at somebody, I think it is Shubman Gill only. You're looking at somebody being the flag bearer of this team.
Yep. So by winning the toss, India got in the best conditions.
Yeah.
So that's why, as
It'll be a surprise. No, sorry to cut you short. It'll be a surprise if India lose now.
Yeah.
it'll be a surprise.
It'll be a
It'll be a
surprise.
surprise.
It'll be a surprise and an upset. Because
It'll
again,
be the upset.
Because again, I think for New Zealand, the key for them, considering they're batting second, would be see out that first 15-20 overs, then really hope that dew hits India hard.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're winning.
Jaddu is not able to grip it. Kuldeep's not able to do anything.
Then your lower middle order, the likes of Mitchell, Chapman, Phillips, Santner.
And that's what Shane said actually makes sense. If, let's say, at the loss of even 2 wickets, they managed to scrape through the first 20 with, let's say, about 80 runs on the board. May not have the required runs. I'm telling you, once that ball, it'll be Kuldeep, they'll take the attack too. If they manage to unsettle Kuldeep, you'll see a different Rohit Sharma, you'll see different nerves.
And remember, the guy who can make the difference, if you have to tackle the dew and the seaming and swinging conditions, it's Kane Williamson. Here is where Williamson's pedigree will be tested. Because swing and seam conditions, the way he plays so late, Williamson's the key in this Mumbai wicket. Get Williamson out, then you've got a chance to clean that.
He was the only second half centurion that day in Manchester.
And would you believe it? It was his first half century in an ICC World Knockout match. Can you believe it?
Some of our stalwarts still don't have that.
I mean, see, Kohli, if you have to look at it, 9, 34, 1, 1. Those are his knockout matches.
But just ODIs is 9-1-1, right?
No, 34 he made in the in the final.
2011.
Yeah.
2011 was
9 in the semi-final.
In the final he made 34.
Yeah.
2011, yeah.
34.
But again,
semi-final.
just 9-1-1. 9-1-1. Again, 9-1-1 is not a good number. If you're in the UK, you're asking for help.
US, no?
US.
In the US, sorry.
Yeah. So it's 9-1-1.
But interestingly, all those dismissals, 9-1-1, came to left-handers. Wahab Riaz, Johnson, I think it was.
Johnson, yes, in Sydney. And
Trent Bolt.
Yes. That's what it happened.
No, and even in this Champions Trophy.
Mohammad Amir. That was also one.
Champions Trophy, yes.
What about
No, actually it was 5.
No, it was one.
One.
A catch was dropped.
By Azhar Ali.
Another catch.
Azhar Ali dropped the catch and Shadab took the catch.
20, and what about
22. It was Jordan who got a 51.
Oh, he got a 50 in that match.
Yeah, Kohli got
But
a
that
50.
50
But
wasn't,
his
He
problem
was
in,
50.
there has been no problem with Virat Kohli in T20 ice.
No, but those runs, the problem that, okay, I won't.
Because
I don't want to make this
he hit a
right
70
now.
and 74 in the 2014 semi-final and final. 16 he hit 89.
No, let's not talk about
No, he's getting a good score today.
He's hitting a good score.
Yeah, ideal conditions.
As I said, streaks have to end.
Somewhere or the other.
Yeah.
And Kohli, if he gets a good score in the knockouts, the streak is broken. New Zealand have won 3 knockouts. That streak has to end somewhere.
But he does need runs. He does need runs. I was looking at his numbers. Yeah, in knockouts, his average drops to 9, as against his average of 70 in the group stages.
Yeah.
World Cups, this is. So yeah, you need a big knock from Virat Kohli, and I hope he gets it. Number 50, no better place to celebrate, no better place to, by the way, get past his idol.
I'll take not even number 50. I'll take a well fought 70-80.
Yeah.
It's a perfectly good knock to make in a semi-final.
useful ones.
Anyhow,
be useful.
comments, shall we?
Yeah, let's
Just
take
about
some
5-7 minutes away from the
Are
first
you
ball.
nervous? Any one of you?
Nah.
Nervous?
Now I think the toss has settled. Toss has settled the nerves for
after
me.
the toss.
Okay, I think we have taken all the
supers we've
chats.
taken.
Yeah.
We're good there.
Yeah.
Let's take some regular questions.
Fan questions, yes. In SL match, Indian batsmen faced difficulty even batting first. That's what Ashish does. The wicket was too big. That's what I stated. That is what I stated. That if you survive that 15-20 over period, then I think you could very well ensure that you make a feast out of this. And remember, you've got a slow deck, maybe a total 350 plus or anything might not happen. Maybe. Somewhere close to 280, 290 in that. Yeah, correction said 2011 semi-final was played in Colombo, Sri Lanka in 2011 World Cup. Sri Lanka scores. Arey, yaar, Sharan. I am not talking about the semi-final. I am talking about New Zealand, Sri Lanka. The league game was played at the Wankhede, my friend. Look up in that schedule. I am not talking about the semi-final. Semi-final was other thing. I know New Zealand couldn't. They came close in defending 217. Angelo Matthews with one leg won them that match. But that ruled him out of the semi-final.
But 2011 they lost the semi-final to the hosts. 2015 they lost the final
to the hosts. 2019 they lost the final to the hosts.
2023
We're talking about streaks
semi-final.
having to end.
But again, 23 also, they may lose to the hosts.
One streak is definitely
One
ending.
streak is
Either
definitely
Kohli is
ending.
getting runs or their streak.
Yeah. So that is why GGK said with India bat first, no chance for Kiwis. Our bowlers dominant. New Zealand won't even cross 200. One-sided India when loading.
It worries me when GGK of all people predicts things because this guy's predictions have been so far off the mark. They make Siddharth look like Nostradamus.
But I have been the Nostradamus
No,
in this
every
World Cup,
single
my
match
friend.
he predicts Rohit 200.
He's
What do you
reverse
mean?
jinxing, my friend.
So if he's reverse jinxing, then that's bad news.
Exactly, it's not good at all.
Reverse
He should be
jinxing.
the Rohit Duck.
By the way, I think he hit 4 and got out in the game against Sri Lanka, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Who?
Rohit. Here at the Wankhede.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
Yaar,
cutter.
that ripper of a ball, yaar. Who tries a cutter the second or the third ball of
That
the
was a surprise.
You were live, I remember.
Yeah.
First ball creamed and
Yeah. First ball glanced to fine leg for 4 and then next ball
Yeah.
cleaned off. So,
Akash Bharadwaj making a good point saying that in the knockouts, if the score is 300, do you think it adds 50 runs more due to the pressure?
Definitely.
Agreed. Anything over 300.
and over here, he'll actually be adding like 70-80.
Yeah.
Because
See.
that first 20 overs, it's going to be very tricky.
look, which was the highest total that has ever been chased in a knockout game?
275 if I'm not wrong.
No, 298 by New Zealand against South Africa. That too in 42 overs. Auckland, Eden Park, Grant Elliott,
yeah,
Superman, 298. I think no team has ever chased 300 in a knockout game.
No.
No
I
one
remember
ever.
275 when India chased in the final. I
But
think that
was that
also
not the
record.
DLS score?
That was you had to actually chase 273, but then end up DLS 298 because Miller had gotten such a big onslaught towards the end that the score had to be adjusted to 298.
Adjusted.
So, but still, New Zealand won. Without any kind of par score issues, no kind of anything, you still won because of that. So, freaking awesome is saying the one ICC tournament I liked very much in recent times is the 2022 T20 World Cup held in Australia. Wickets were very sporting. 150, 170 was a good score in many matches, a good contest between bat and ball.
Agreed, but what one major caveat was that this was the one time you held an ICC tournament in Australia of all places with the onset of their summer.
Yeah.
So it was a very weird time because a lot of those pitches, Adelaide was playing like what do you call Colombo. I remember, and none of us could predict the conditions because it's like, what is happening? So that played a part, but I agree. The pitches were very, very, you could say it had something for everyone. You weren't seeing big hitting, slam bang hitting, which you'd associate only with T20.
Yeah. Sandhya Das is asking me to take his or her comment. India 340, 350, New Zealand 150 all out. Bye bye, nice guys. Thanks for coming. With the slow deck, I think my score would be about 280 and
Anything above 300 balls is a winning total.
it's
No, I
a
think about
comfortable win, I
270.
agree. I only agree on the fact that it's going to be a comfortable win for India.
I feel over
agree.
270 would be a winning total.
Could very well be. Could very well.
Could very well be. Again, GGK, this thing is always constant with him. Okay, GGK is saying Rohit has saved his best for knockouts. Big 100 from Rohit today. Hope Virat also contributes.
Wait, hold on. Rohit has saved his best for knockouts. He had that 100 against Bangladesh. Beyond
Afghanistan.
that,
Yeah, even he hasn't fired.
Afghanistan.
No,
Bangladesh,
Bangladesh.
2015.
Oh yeah,
right?
the
That
knockout.
no ball controversy.
Beyond that, Rohit Sharma has done two things when it comes to knockouts in ICC tournaments: deadly and squat. Because even he's not done much. He
Yeah.
also tends to always
Yeah,
that left
he
armor.
never he has.
That
He has
left
never done.
armor thing comes from mostly knockouts only.
Even the
Yeah, he got
Shikhar
out.
Dhawan as the ICC.
He's also bottled
He is
it.
also bottled at the.
Although Rohit also made 34 in that semi-final against Australia. Virat made 34 in the final. Rohit made 34 in the
Which semi-final?
Australia
2015.
2015.
2015.
Johnson got him through the gate there. So,
Again.
Yeah, that's the situation.
I want to be
Yep.
surprised.
So left armor, you've got Trent Bolt. The Trent Bolt factor is there today.
But Trent Bolt hasn't really troubled anyone in this World Cup.
But I think he came back on his own form in that Sri
Last
Lanka
game.
game.
Sri Lanka game.
Sri Lanka
Yes,
game.
Sri Lanka game. That's what I'm saying.
did,
Sri
yeah.
Lanka game, he really looked like, he's hitting his straps right now,
At the
finally.
worst time.
At the worst time for India. By the way, I was reading somewhere that even yesterday when he was practicing, he was getting some swing.
That's okay.
I mean, to be fair, this is Mumbai. You do tend to get early swing.
And he knows this pitch. he knows
got
conditions.
ideas,
yeah. Plus,
But I don't think his intent is gonna drop.
but he's never played at Wankhede for the Mumbai
No,
Indians.
of course he has.
he
2019.
has so many times.
What
Wasn't
do you
he there
say?
from 2020?
No, he was part of the 2019 team as well.
And I remember that Trent Bolt really likes the Wankhede ground because I remember he was playing for the Delhi Capitals once and
He
took a
ran through
streamer,
Mumbai, I
and he
remember.
also ran
Yeah,
through
yeah,
Mumbai.
And I remember Rajasthan Royals, how he got past LSG. Remember
He
Rahul
really
in
likes his
swinging,
state ground.
Krishnappa Gautam in swinging, and so that's why. So Predictions, my friend. Start with you. What's it going to be?
I already said it's 75-25 India, but score prediction, I'll go with India getting to 296.
And one batsman, the high scorer also will predict.
Nah.
Yeah.
Take it.
In that case, it'll be Shreyas Iyer.
I
Iyer.
was doing that.
Yep.
I wanted to. 265 Shreyas Iyer.
265?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying no one getting 100 today. Let's be very frank. I don't think you're getting 100. I think India get about 288 and they win.
288. India making 270. Comfortable win for India.
No one's predicting New Zealand. Very interesting.
No, but I think it's going to be a good day for Shreyas Iyer.
Okay,
And Surya Kumar Yadav.
But I think winning margin could just be about 15 odd runs.
Exactly. I'm not
15.
saying.
I think it will be a comfortable win.
So like 40,
15
50.
runs would be a comfortable win.
15
Nah.
would be
By the
comfortable.
end of it would
15
look like
would mean that they had you
Sweating.
sweating and
They had you on the ropes.
they had you on the ropes, they had you tested.
Yes,
Whatever you
yes,
want to say.
yes. So, gearing up for the semi.
Finally.
Let's actually watch the first over, see how it goes. 100% it will be Bolt opening, right?
Of
Yeah,
course.
it will be bold. Yes, that's
Shuman Gill
Trent
is number
Alexander
one
Bolt.
You can see. Yeah.
Yep.
Number
Mr.
one
Trendy.
ICC batter.
Yeah, Trent Alexander Bolt is gonna bowl the.
Just don't bowl a bolt, that's it.
I mean, you don't know.
I
Lightning
just
Bolt.
hope how the intent he has shown against against Matt Henry and Shaheen Shah Afridi. He just goes with the same intent against him.
Yeah, I mean, see, what is the guarantee that he will not score a boundary? I think he will score a boundary.
He will go for a boundary for sure.
Yes.
He would try to put that pressure on him.
See, he's been doing that throughout the World Cup. He's been looking for those early boundaries,
Yeah.
looking for those aggressive starts.
Oh, but Trey is a much wider stance from him. He's left all three stumps.
Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So
And it's
a boundary.
No.
No, it'll be 2.
Early swing.
That outfield,
Not they're giving
it
me
was
Dharamsala vibes.
locky.
No,
Yeah,
but
that was lucky.
all outfields you look at it, even in Lucknow, you have
Yeah.
that patch.
No, I think it's going. Just look at the wicket. It's going to help the spinners a lot.
Yeah, the wicket, as Kane Williamson very succulently put it, and I'll give him full credit. He said it looks like a used pitch.
See, there is no rule that there is no written rule anywhere that you have to play on a fresh pitch.
Yeah, of
but
course not.
still, just I don't want to get.
The hint of movement early on.
Yeah.
Hint being the key.
But again, see, since it's daytime,
Yeah, you tend to get the most movement under lights.
lights.
So when the breeze comes in.
Yeah. Because remember, even in 1996, if you have to look at it, India couldn't chase 260 against Australia. And who got maximum purchase out of that? Damien Fleming, 5 for 36.
Yep.
I was there. I saw how Australia somehow helped the swing and due to their advantage. Tendulkar tried to hang in there and he hung in there until 90, but he was stumped. Marquardt was the bowler. So, somewhere down the line, history is repeating itself in a lot of ways in Bombay when it comes to a knockout stage, when it comes to a league stage. So, fine. The only thing that might help New Zealand, old school discipline. Choke the flow of runs, ensure you field well, don't get intimidated, stick to your plans. That's the only way I think
What I really like about the New Zealand side also, and Kane Williamson especially, one thing he has a lot in common with
Okay, 4. Perfect.
with MS Dhoni is that he follows the process. No matter what, you have seen this over a couple of 2-3 ICC tournaments now, that no matter where they finish, the process stays the same.
Yep.
And they are happy doing that. That is genuinely the second time I've seen someone following the process so much after MS Dhoni.
So Rohit, going by the template that has served him well, he leads from the front with a 4. And okay, 50.
So Williamson doesn't mind because see that you had that fielder there, knowing full well that if he mistimed it was down his
The
throat.
height was impossible.
He
for
hit
him
it
to
well.
reach.
He did well. You have to give
Yeah.
Rohit credit there.
Nice over.
He was in control.
Yep.
He's in
So 10 for no loss after the end of the first over. So we'll
It's
join
technically
you.
not the end of the first over. There's one more ball.
I thought, oh, it's not the end of the
Yeah,
first over. Okay.
It's not yet.
So if Bolt goes for runs, bad news already.
Bad news indeed.
Bad news indeed. So yep, he pitched it up. Intention was good, but
Not much movement he got. Not much.
there isn't much more. Daytime, you're not going to get movement in Bombay. Understand that one thing. It'll always be coming on nicely to the bat. Only under the lights, it's gonna happen. So, okay. So that's
Good
the end
start.
of the
Very
first
good
over.
start.
10
The
for
nerves would have
loss.
settled in if there were any.
Yeah, 100%.
But I only hope that there is no jingoism. That's the only thing that I would just ask many of the Indian fans, please treat it as a game. Don't, I know,
Good one.
treat it as a game. Don't have jingoism in place because you're not fighting a war.
See, if you want no jingoism, you can come to us here at Sports Day. We give you everything that way.
Yeah.
No jingoism, just
Hope
plain
so.
discussion.
Yep. Okay.
Anyhow.
See you for the mid match. Bye bye. Mid innings.